Final game of the season against the team rock bottom of the Premiership. Already relegated, nothing to play for. Tottenham need 1 point. 1 point to secure Champions League football next season. Prior to the game, if your starfish wasn't going, then you're not really a true Spurs fan, are you? You can come out with all that. In Conte we trust, we're a different team now, we're not Spursy anymore. You can come out with all that. But the reality is, you know, and I know, that you were a little bit, just a little bit bothered. But hey, did we really need to? Did we really need to worry? It was written in the stars, wasn't it? There you are, a 5-0 drubbing to secure that 1 point needed to take us to the Champions League, the promised land of the Champions League. So footballing gods tell us anyway. Champions League football next season, and wow, what an opportunity. On top of that, Sonny needed 2 goals to become the Golden Boot winner. And in the end, the 2 goals was enough to share it with Salah, because Mr. Salah decided to come on and score a goal himself, which is really disappointing, because it would have been absolutely beautiful for Sonny to have taken that accolade all by himself, because he absolutely enjoyed it. Not one penalty in any of those. The final goal, wow, what a goal. And in some style, right? I mean, that was fitting to actually get that golden boot. Beautiful curler, right in the top corner. Kroll, no chance. And to be fair, he could have had 3 or 4 in that game quite easily. There was a couple of really good chances, easier chances than the ones he took to win that game, to score those goals. And yet, you know, it took something as special as that. And you could see the elation in the whole of the team. And I think that's such an important point, is how together the team was, how happy they were for him to actually achieve something that's not easy to achieve, right? I mean, it's not an easy task, is it? Especially when you're not an out-and-out striker. You know, to go there and to put out 23 goals without any penalties in any of that is outstanding. Great stats. Really chuffed for him. It will send the Korean fans into meltdown, because he is clearly the best Asian player ever to play in the Premier League. I don't care who you are, what you're saying. Don't come back at me, because I'm not interested. Absolutely, the guy is a superstar, and we are so privileged to have him. And to be fair, in terms of his performances, they haven't always been the best. You know, he hasn't had the greatest season in terms of his normal play, the standards that he's put in. There's been games where he's been quite poor, but to come out like that, Will, amazing, absolutely amazing. And I think you cannot end this season without talking about the Juventus rejects. I mean, you know, if they're their rejects, wow, you know. And Bentancur was fabulous today. 2 assists in the game. Kulusevski, 2 goals, you know, fantastic. You know, and his second goal was, you know, top bins as well. I mean, a great goal. And the kid's 21. You cannot knock the quality that those 2 have brought into the team. A little bit has to be said for Højbjerg today as well, who had some really good opportunities. I really wanted him to put one in the back of the net. Weren't to be, but his overall performance I thought was really good. Because the guy does get a lot of stick. You know, in certain circles he's not the fans' favourite. In other circles he is a fan's favourite. So, and it's all about opinion. So, you know, you're gonna have that difference of viewpoint. But for me, I think he's done great for us, and you know, fair play to him. I'm not saying he's the best player in the team. But you don't need superstars in every position to be a great team. What you need is the right attitudes and the right temperaments and the right cohesion and the right sort of link and what's the word? How the players get on with each other. How they kind of correspond with each other. That's really what builds a team. You've got the flair, you've got the power, you've got the skill, you've got the pace, you've got all those different things that you need in the team to actually achieve something quite important. And so, really, really chuffed. Harry Kane, another header, flying header to get his goal. I think that was 17 for the season in the Premier League, which still put him fourth in the Premier League, to be fair, in one of Kane's worst seasons in terms of his goals scored. But wow, what else does he bring to the team? He brings some absolute quality. Dropping deep, his assists, his vision. I just genuinely don't think there's anything the kid hasn't got. I saw a tweet the other day, and it was asking the question: who have you ever seen as a Tottenham player that you thought to yourself they were just never going to make it? And I have to say, way, way, way back, Harry Kane was one of them for me. Liked him, thought he was a good lad, and I felt that he did everything but score. He was quick. He was good at positional play. He got in the right positions. He was unselfish. His passing was good. And so on and so forth. But he just couldn't seem to put it in the net. And he spent so much time out on loan. I mean, he's been loaned around so many teams. It's ridiculous. But once he started scoring, and he's just never stopped. And you cannot write the guy off. He's been fantastic. I think he'll stay on now. I think that's it. I think his opportunity to move to another team was last season. But when that didn't happen, I think now, I think he'll stay. I think Antonio Conte will want to do something special. I mean, to be able to go from 9th when you come in to top 4 in the kind of 6 months that he's been there is a fantastic achievement. It's not easy, as we know. You've only got to ask the mob down the road how difficult it is to get back to the Champions League. They'll tell you, the amount of money that they've spent over the last few seasons with Arteta, and they'll talk about being the young team and all the rest of it. Don't let any of that fool you. They've got some young players, they've got some young, exciting players, but they are not a young team. They are a team that are inconsistent, wholly inconsistent, like Spurs were, like we've been in the past. But I'm hoping that that's something we've now put behind us, that we're going to get some kind of level of consistency that's really going to start to take us somewhere. All we need after that is a little bit of luck, because competitions-wise, I'm not saying we should be thinking we should win the Premier League, but in terms of cup competitions, we should be saying to ourselves, look, consistency, application. You've got one of the best managers in the world. You've got all the facilities you could ever ask for. You've got great players in the team. Your Sons, your Kanes. You've got emerging talent like Kulusevski and Bentancur. You've got the Romero, but don't forget Romero wasn't even in the team today. And Sanchez did okay. Emerson getting pelters, I know, but again, a little bit more consistent, a little bit more effort today. Sessegnon getting in and amongst it, defending better. Really needs to start getting some crosses in for me. There is some decent players within that squad. What we've got to do is we've got to clear out some of the others and start getting ourselves some additions that are going to be, players that would walk into the team, and let them compete. Then let them compete with the other players. And if that means we have to have some players leave the team who we wouldn't necessarily want to leave because we're affectionate towards them or whatever, then so be it. Personally, I don't like the idea of going backwards, but if that's what it's to be, that's what it's to be. As far as I'm concerned, I won't bitch now about who we bring in, provided it's what Antonio Conte wants. So if Antonio Conte says he wants Bow or he wants Ericsson, then I'll go with that, because he knows far better than I do. But for me, it's not, you know, I don't like the idea of going backwards. I like to see us going forwards. Who's the best players out there? I don't want players who are, you know, just because they're associated with the club. Or if he wants Ericsson, it's because Ericsson's the best that's available for that club at that time, and he's going to take us to the next level. If he's not, then don't bother. You know, Conte needs to bring in, you know, who Conte needs to bring in. So I'm looking forward to next season now. Champions League is a big ask, going to need a far bigger squad. So hopefully the summer will give us the opportunity to bring a few in. We'll see if that's the intention. If it's not, then we could be in and out of that competition very, very quickly. But fingers crossed that, you know, this is the start of something rather than the end of something. This wasn't, you know, the goal just to get to the Champions League. The goal is to compete, to win, and to drive forward. That's where we need to be now. For me, I want to say, just to finish off this video, I want to say thank you to you guys who bother to watch my videos. It's, you know, it's really nice to meet some of you, which I have done, to chat to some of you, which I do. I enjoy just giving my opinion, and hopefully it resonates with a few people. The feedback I get is really positive. I probably won't be doing any videos. This is probably the last one I'm going to do. I certainly won't be doing anything over the summer. I don't really get into transfer speculation or whatever. If there's a big story that comes out or something really controversial that happens or whatever, then I might chuck my 2 pennyworth in. But I should be going sort of fairly quiet now for certainly until the season starts again, when I'll consider whether to keep going, whether to do videos in the future or not. But I think it's a fitting time to finish this season and think about where we go. You know, if we continue doing something in the future. But I want to say, as I say, thank you to everyone who's subscribed, everyone who's watched, everyone who's commented over the course of the last probably 2-3 years. I think I've kind of made the odd video, you know, made the videos. I've enjoyed getting to know you all, and I'll leave it there and look forward to hopefully bumping into a few of you around LTs or in the Southside Bar or the Gilpin even. But it'd be good to say hello. Let's leave it there and keep the faith and look forward to the Champions League next season. Up the Spurs!